In this video, I want to talk to you about using glue. So as you can see, this is a picture of glue and how it's stored in the glue drawer. I want you to notice that all the glue bottles are standing up nice and tall like soldiers. So this is the expectation for how the glue should look when glue has been put away. It should not look just tossed in. When you're done at the end of class, the glue should look like this. And if everybody just takes a minute to make sure the glue is standing up when you put your glue away, then there won't be a problem. The other thing that we need to make sure of is we need to make sure that the glue is closed. So if you see the orange touching the white, then that means it is closed. So if you remember, I taught you lefty loosey, righty tighty. So if I turn to the left counterclockwise, you can see that the orange cap is now not touching the white. That means it's open. You should be able to hear it breathe. If you can't hear it breathe, chances are that there is some glue kind of glued to the top that is keeping it from, do you see how I just took those pieces of glue off? And now you can hear it breathing. So that's how you make sure that the glue is coming out. So if you're having a hard time getting glue out, just take the little dried glue off the top. To close the glue, we're going to turn it righty-tighty, making sure that the orange is now touching back. And then it goes in the glue container so that it is standing up nice and tall like a soldier. So I want to show you a couple different ways of gluing. So I have cut some pieces here. And you know that my glue bottles have a tendency to say stand me up tall or ... not a lot. But I'm going to show you some ways of gluing things down. So ... not a lot means we're not putting big globs of glue down. So if I were to glue this tiny little piece, I am talking baby dots of glue. That's another phrase that we say, baby dots of glue. And I'm going to put just a tiny bit of glue. You can see just a little bit. It does not take a lot because when I press down on this, when I press down, the glue is going to spread out. And we don't want to see any glue leaking out the sides. If I'm doing something like this, again, I might put more than one dot because I have more area to cover. And for some reason, I think I might have some dried glue inside of this orange cap because it's having to press really hard to get glue out. But you can see I'm using just little dots of glue. I also want you to notice that I'm not putting the dots of glue right up against the edge of the paper. I'm bringing them in a little bit so that when I press down on the paper, there's room for the glue to spread out. Now, another thing that you can do besides ... and ... not a lot, and baby dots of glue. That's dots. So I want to show you how to do a bead of glue. So if you have something that's long and narrow like this, that's long and skinny, instead of doing a bunch of dots going down, you can do a bead of glue. But again, that bead of glue should not be a large bead going down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my orange cap, I'm actually going to touch the paper, and I'm going to squeeze the glue. And as I squeeze the glue, I'm going to, now I think that there's some dried glue stuck in here. So I'm going to do this a couple of different times. But if you have glue that's coming out and you squeeze the glue, you're going to see that your glue is going to come out a little bit easier than mine. But do you see that bead of glue? And again, it's not a lot. It's just a little bit. But it's enough that when I turn this over and I press down, it will stick to the paper and it will spread out and it will hold that paper down. You can also do a bead of glue when you're dealing with rounded shapes. So instead of doing lots of dots, I could take my glue and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see if I can't fix this really quick. Oh, there he goes. Maybe I didn't have it open all the way. Goodness. So you can see it kind of started spilling out. There we go. Maybe I didn't have it open all the way or something got dislodged. So if I wanted a bead of glue, there we go. Much better. But you see how I'm touching? That looks much better than what I had before. So there's that bead of glue. Again, I'm not putting it right against the side and the edge over here. I'm bringing it in a little bit. It's not a huge gob of glue. So when I think of a huge gob of glue, this is what I'm thinking. For people that, when you do something like that, Do you see the difference between the two? So if I take this and I turn this over and I press down, notice that there's no glue leaking out the outside edges. But if I take this and I press this down, do you see all the glue that is leaking out? We don't want that. That's not okay. And I shouldn't say it's not okay, but it's not going to make your artwork look very good. But if I were to do something and I just were to press a little bit and just do a teeny little bead, and I turn this over, then this is going to stick down really well. But notice that there's no glue leaking outside. Even if I were to do that with this one, where I might go in and I might just do a little bead. Again, notice it's a skinny bead, and I'm keeping away from the edges. It's not a big glob of glue. So we want to stay away from this. So that's how you can do some different gluing. So you can use dot, dot, not a lot. You can do baby dots of glue, and then you can also use a bead of glue, depending. We do not want big globs. We do not want to have glue that is leaking out like you're seeing there, okay? When you're done with your glue, it's really important that you righty-tighty and you close the cap, making sure that the orange is touching the white, and that you are putting the glue back into its storage area in the drawer, and it's standing up nice and tall like soldiers.